absolutely do not need at this moment paper qualification to become an interior designer.
I know you guys OT quite a bit, is it true?
Yeah, delays inevitably happen. It's tough to manage all these things. It's like you're an octopus and you're calling everybody, Lapan, cannot.
Are there any designs that you guys wish like, hey, let's not do this anymore?
The arches, maybe it's nice for maybe 2 areas, and then they start to splash it all over the place. That's a bit much. But that being said, I think it's everybody's own house lah.
So if they die want the arch walkways, then you don't like the walkways, they can insist.
Yeah, they can. I will close my eyes.
Hi everyone, my name is Daryl.
My name's Estelle.
And welcome back to Thriving as an Interior Designer. Have you ever wondered why the ID industry gets such a bad rep? Or what the biggest renovation mistakes made by young couples are? Today we explore these and more with our guest, Ng Sze Wee. Ng Sze Wee, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, my name is Ng Sze Wee. I'm an architectural designer and a co-founder of Office Off, also known as OO. We do residential and commercial interior design.
So Ng Sze Wee, I noticed that you call yourself an architectural designer and you studied architecture in university, right? Can you tell us more about that and what's the difference between an ID and an architectural designer?
Okay. So the difference between why I call myself an architectural designer instead of an architect is because I have not done or logged my qualifications yet after university. So even though I have gotten my master's in architecture, I still had to do 2 years or 3 years and log a certain amount of experience and go for an exam, a very, very tough one, in order to get my qualifications as an architect, to call myself an architect with like a capital A. It's a little bit similar to the lawyers doing the bar exam or the doctors having a DR in front of their names as well as a prefix. So yeah, it's kind of obscure, but it is a professional qualification. So since I haven't done that yet, so I cannot call myself an architect.
I see.
So architectural designer is like somewhere in between.
Ooh. Okay, then maybe you could expand upon this, what does, because you do ID, right? So with all your expertise and everything, what exactly do you do? What is your job scope?
I would say the job scope is quite varied in the sense that what we do at Office Off is what is the full package, design, everything. We also follow our clients to shop for furnitures and everything. But also we manage the contracts with the contractors. We also look after the work. So we are a little bit like the project manager and the contractors as well. Whereas some interior designers, the traditional type, are basically just the people who design the space, draw up everything, and they go for what we call tenders.
Is it right to say like IDs, right? The traditional interior designers, normally the house is already built and then they just come in to do the furnishing, to do the carpentry and everything.
Correct.
Then yours is a bit different because on top of that, you also do some of the construction project management.
Yes.
Before the house is even
Yes.
built.
But I would say that like there are a lot of ID firms when they say that they have in-house workers, in-house plumbers, in-house electrician. They're also doing something like that. This is also because I think when they are bigger firms, they have maybe 15 jobs running all at the same time.
Wow.
And so then they are able to bring maybe the cost price slightly lower because they work exclusively with 1 or 2 electricians. So it's like I give you 8 jobs, you give me at this price for all 8 jobs, things like that. So, but for us, the motive for doing it more in-house, it's more like so that we can control the details, so that we can control how the final outcome is like. Because we, at a very, very early on, when we first started the company, we realized that whether the workmanship by another contractor is good or not, you as the interior designer still get scolded for it as well. So we're like, we'll just do it ourselves, might as well,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, from the amount of things that you're talking about, right, that's like a lot of things that you guys are doing. So how are the working hours like? I know you guys OT quite a bit. I feel quite a bit is an understatement. You OT a lot. Is it true?
Yeah, I think mainly also because Office Off is, I'm only one half of Office Off, so I'm 50%, right? So, and we don't have staff right now, so it's only me and my partner, my business partner.
It's just the two of you guys.
Yeah, so it's just the two of us.
Wow.
Yeah, so it can get quite hectic.
Yeah.
When we have multiple projects running at the same time, or you have projects all going to construction at the same time as well. So then it means that for a good part of the day you are out. You're
Yeah.
running around to different sites to make sure that everything is going smoothly also. So then, and also because the nature of the interior design industry is that you're working with clients who have a day job.
Yes.
So their only free time to either respond to you or to actually sit down and have a virtual call or a face-to-face is, yeah,
7 p.m. onwards.
correct. Yeah, 7 p.m. onwards.
No, a bit like
You know?
insurance agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit like that. You know, you don't want to catch them during their office lunchtime and have like a quick, sit down at the CBD area also. So then usually it will be Saturday, Sunday, and weekday nights.
No.
Yeah, but I have some clients who reply during the weekday also. So things get spread around a little bit also. So that's still kind of okay. Working hours are a bit erratic. Depends on the current project stage. If everything is in construction, then I won't be at the table for a long time. Right? But if everything is in design stage, then I'll be at home or in my office and then like doing the work.
Wow.
Yeah, just drawing everything out and responding to requests. A lot of the design still happens during the construction stage because it's never a perfect sort of fit. BTOs are maybe the exception, or condos are maybe the exception, where there's very, very little adjustments after you finish the drawings. But when you're talking about buildings from the 30s,
The 20s.
yeah, it's never a perfect thing, and the workers that are on site all day, they also don't know until they actually hoist the thing up and say, oh, it doesn't fit. How do we do this? And then you receive a call from Malaysia. You just draw it out and take a photo and send it to them. So there's a lot of design still actually going on during construction, I think. And there are certain things where I think it looks good on the 3D visualization and everything, but then on site you realize that doesn't look that good when the sunlight hits it. Then you have to sort of scramble and then make adjustments also, because workers are working and every day they
Yes.
spend
Time is money.
on site. It's another day they cannot spend on another site.
Agree.
So you want to just try to move things along, so you have to go down to site to actually try to resolve things.
And delays are the biggest problem, because like one delay here means that the plumber also have to delay, the person doing the
Yeah.
tiling have to delay,
Correct.
push back.
Answer
Correct,
to
correct.
so many people. But would you say like those are the moments where you like least like? I'm sure there are like things that you enjoy about your job and things that you don't really enjoy about your job.
I think for sure, I think nobody likes to call up 5 people within 10 minutes and say that, like, by the way, you cannot come in next week.
Yeah.
You have to wait another week and a half, and they'll be like, 老板 cannot, I cannot I have another site. So it's tough to manage all these things. It's like you're an octopus and you're calling everybody. But I think it's inevitable. And fortunately for my clients, they have been extremely, extremely patient, because they know that you can't rush a product that is good. You want it done right, instead of like, okay lah, never mind, we have 3 groups of people, one doing tiling, one doing painting and everything, then all at the same time, and you won't come up with a good, perfect product also. I think a lot of people aspire to do the perfect interior design, but like it's not really possible. Sometimes you can aspire towards it, but delays inevitably happen, and it's a really fortunate thing that our clients are very, very patient also.
Do you do a lot of BTOs or HDB renovations?
Yeah, in the last 2 years, we actually started out doing a BTO first, and that's sort of like the proof of concept when we say that like we actually there are people who like the design that we were doing.
But are there any designs that you guys wish like, hey, don't let's not do this anymore? Like, because there's some trends that come and go all the time, right? So are there any trends that you feel like you need to tell your clients like, hey, maybe we should not cave into like Japandi,
Japandi, yes.
this kind, which yeah.
The archers and the Japandi order.
I'm guilty of that though. I really like it though, but are there any trends? you feel?
I would say the archers.
Oh,
the arches. Yeah.
what reason being?
I feel like sometimes they think that the arch is like a nice thing, and maybe it's like nice for maybe two areas. And then they start to splash it all over the place. Like, oh, I do it for the shelves, I do it for my toilet door, I do it for so then it starts to become like it's a bit much.
Arches like everywhere.
Yeah, it's like arches everywhere, but with no, like I think arches are nice in its context. Like if you go to like say Raffles Hotel or like you go to those colonial buildings, they have very nice arches, like chimes.
Yes.
But it has to be in its own context with all the moldings and all these things. And but if you just simply do arches and splash it everywhere, it feels a bit like that's a little bit too much, like a bit
Overkill.
bare. Yeah, but that being said, I think it's everybody's own house lah. Like we will tell the owner like feels a bit much lah. Like if you ask me, I would say that it looks bad. And sometimes we do get into a little bit of an argument or disagreements with clients also because we really think it will look very ugly. And so we were just like,
How will you say if you really think it looks very ugly?
Like ugly is a very strong word. You'd be like, it's just not very tasteful.
I don't think it's cohesive. I don't think it's, the look or the spirit of the project that we're going for.
That is so well put together. It does not serve the spirit or the essence of what you're going for.
So then that's why keeping records are very important, right? Like, hey, look at these mood images that we are talking about. And sometimes these mood images are not necessarily images of spaces. It won't be like Hilton Hotel or like, it won't be like Paragon or whichever nice, aspirational images that we're looking at. Sometimes it can be a mood, and that's why we call it a mood image, right? It can be a screenshot from a TV series. It could be from a movie. It could be from something else. It could be just textiles and things like that. Something that reminds us of the client's lifestyle, the client's attitude, the client's demeanor when we first meet them, and their aspiration in the next stage of their life, like the next 10 years, if they were to stay in the house for 10 years.
Anyway, earlier you were talking about how some of the clients may not be formally trained, right? So they don't really recognize the differences between styles. But for IDs, is there any sort of formal training or certification?
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, NAFA and LaSalle both have a pretty decent interior design course.
But you don't need the course to be an
You don't. SP also has. A lot of my ex-classmates who then move on to become architects, they were actually from SP. Yeah, so...
But I guess I've been seeing people making like mid-career or like early mid-career switches to IDs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and they might come from occupations that are not related to architecture, not related to ID as well.
Technically, they don't have the qualifications per se to enter this industry, right?
Yeah, is that very common?
Okay, I would say that just to get into interior design, right, the TLDR is that you don't need a qualification. Some companies would train you up,
Yeah.
say pair you up with a senior designer, take you through the thing and
Yes.
show you the ropes, and maybe after 2 years, you're like, okay, you can be a senior designer now. And
2 years to become a senior designer?
I'm just throwing it out.
Oh, okay,
I
so that's
haven't been
quick.
to any of these firms before. But what I'm thinking is that they have people training them, and they have also then they split the commissions and everything, right? But I think that education, if you were to ask me to go through any form of design education, like just maybe like a 4-month course at LaSalle or something, or NAFA, right, for interior design, it's actually very, very helpful. My background when I was in junior college was computer science, and I was doing absolutely nothing related to design, right? And then I decided after NS I'm going to join NUS Architecture, and the education was tremendously helpful to me in the way that I see things. I see objects that are designed. I see the spaces around as well, like even shopping malls or like covered walkways and things like that. You start to notice different things. So I would say that like education is going to make you a better designer. It never hurts to go for that. If you are aspiring to really drill down and become a much better designer, whether is it interior, architecture, product design, or whatever, right? It never hurts. It really never hurts because it changes the way you see things. It essentially gives you like a directory to say, okay, there are all these designers that are being talked about in lessons, in lectures, and everything, and my peers are looking. These are their favorite designers. Then from there, you can start to make your own decisions. Like, do I like this guy? Do I like that guy? Why do I like them? And then from there, you can start to become a better designer yourself. But without these things, Pinterest doesn't distill anything for you, right? Pinterest just tells you, like,
These are the
these
looks.
are the ones the algo is telling you, like, these are popular because they look like this image that you just pinned. So I think if you were to just rely on Pinterest, then maybe that's not really the best way to become a better designer. But you absolutely do not need at this moment a qualification or paper qualification to become an interior designer.
Do you think this lack of qualifications, right, and lack of formal education is partly why the local ID industry has quite a bad rep?
Yeah.
Like, I think I've been seeing articles about scam IDs, about IDs that
Yeah.
promise and then cannot deliver, right?
Yes.
Or stuck in renovation hell, cannot.
Oh, that's the worst, renovation hell.
I think that's one, but I don't think qualifications will resolve this problem of, say, delays or say, for example, take for example, I think some of these scams happen because owners make a down payment and then nothing happens on site and it keeps getting delay and suddenly the ID disappears, right? First of all, I think, like, when you look at the contract or you look at the payment terms, 40% or 30% down payment before anything happens or even take a hammer to the wall, right? That's kind of a red flag to me.
But is it
Okay.
normal, 30-40%?
I think it's pretty normal from what I hear. Yeah, we typically just do like a 10% or a 5%,
Oh.
depending on how big or small the project is, just to just get the ball rolling, right? Yeah, and buy the materials and things like that. Because even let's say, for example, 5% of the whole project is not a small amount.
Yeah, it's not.
So if you were to like use that to buy the material, you also wouldn't pay your hackers or your demolition guys the full 100% before they even start work.
Yeah.
Right? You will pay them maybe half, or you pay them 70%, then they do their things. So I think it's fair to also tell your ID, it's like, you maybe 10%, not 40. Otherwise, you really expose yourself to a lot of risk lah. Unless you really, really trust the ID, like it's your brother-in-law or something.
But then again, I mean, there have been cases.
Right,
you know?
yeah. There are cases also. So it's very tough. And I think it's a fundamental human greed kind of thing, not so much of a qualifications or not. Because you can be qualified and you can say that, like, I'm the best designer in Singapore, and then the clients come to you, they say, I trust you, give you 40% down payment. You can still take it.
But if you want to, you can be trained, you can be educated, but if you want to scam somebody, you're still going
just
to
scam-
scam
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But
What happened?
besides this 40% down payment, are there other red flags?
Yeah, do you have a list of red flags, given that you're a professional now, like, just to warn and help us, like, regular folk to not get scared?
Like when my parents did ID work many years ago, we had I'm not sure whether he was an ID or he was a contractor, but a bit like uncle style. Then like everything also he wanted to do carpentry. So I was thinking, like, is it he earned a commission from the carpentry or what? Then, like
Perhaps,
the TV console carpentry, my table carpentry, cupboard everything carpentry.
I mean, technically can lah, but just tell them don't need lor. Like, I don't want you to carpentry for me. I can own self buy. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons why designers or contractors they want everything to be built in. Number one is maybe they just want to liaise with one point of contact, right? And also they want to earn more money, right? We sometimes do that because we would like all the finishes to look the same, or we want the TV console to be floating off the wall, but the TV console has to be 2.5 meters long because of the size of their TV.
So it may not be a red
Right.
flag. lah.
It may not really be a red flag, but if the homeowners truly feel that like a 2.5 meters long floating TV console for $2,000 is not what I want to spend my money on, then say no. Just strike it off from the quotation and say, yeah, this is my McDonald's a la carte menu. I don't need these things, you know. And we always encourage the owners to do that also, to say, this is for me right now, this is not for me right now. I don't need this right now.
Okay.
So I think homeowners can always do that and try not to feel pressured.
So
by
if they
it.
die want the arch walkways, but then you don't like the walkways, they can insist.
Yeah, they can.
For
I'll
every
close my
single door.
eyes, or when I photograph the place, I will like photograph half the arch.
But going back to the question about red flags,
Yeah.
what sort of red flags you think new homeowners should look out?
I'll definitely want to know because my house is coming in 2 years. I need to know about these red flags.
Same.
Yeah.
I think a red flag would be that they are pushing a particular product too hard.
Okay.
Like I just had a conversation with a client for a terrace house. She was telling me that one of the previous interior designer that she hired kept pushing this full height kitchen system, and she doesn't host. So it's like concealed fridge. It's not like your typical Samsung fridge. It's like a fridge that is concealed behind carpentry. So everything looks the same, super posh and everything.
Yeah, you cannot
Plus-
find the fridge one, right?
yeah. You have to open it out, and it's like 4 doors or whatever, right? So, and it's like 50,000 something. So and she's like, I don't want that, but she kept pushing it onto me. Like she kept telling me that it's good. I will need it when I host my friends, and she's like, I don't host my friends that often.
Okay, so it's pushing up products is one red
Yeah,
flag.
I think for consultants or for interior designers, right? I feel that there are so many products out there, right? And ultimately you're serving the client to get the house into whatever state that they want. Now, of course, we want it to be beautiful so we can photograph it also. But I think pushing a particular product too hard feels like, because they're probably getting commission from the side and
Yeah.
everything. So I think it's not wrong to get commission if you do sort of successfully convince the owner to use it and the owner wants it, right? And so, yeah, it's fair that you get a cut from there, you know. But I also think that you are sort of starting to lose sight of who your actual paymaster is also.
Agree.
Yeah, so I think that's one very, very, very big red
Red
flag.
flag.
Yeah.
And then the 30% discount or 40%. No, not 30%. The
down
down payment.
payment, yeah.
That's another red flag. You can
Down
actually
payment is
negotiate
high.
yeah.
10% or 5%.
Actually, to me, one of the biggest red flag is that the cost is too low.
Oh.
The budget is, as in like the quotation is too low.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never thought of that. In hindsight, we'll be like, oh, yay. Like a
Because I think there's also a reason why certain things are really, really cheap, right? And I often ask my clients or potential clients, right? Like I think certain things that you want to do is, I believe, is going to cost quite a bit, and I believe you want it to look like this, right? Like there's the Hilton Hotel MBS level of finishes, and there's the, you know, maybe some condos, right? Nice atas condo, and then there's the maybe for a level like West Mall or like you know shopping mall kind of finishes.
Sunshine
Right.
Plaza.
Yeah,
Suburban malls.
Yeah, suburban
yeah.
mall.
Generic
So
suburban malls.
generic suburban malls, you know, not. But I think they all fall into different pockets of like budget, right? So I think if certain things are too cheap and too good to be true, I would be sort of suspicious and
Okay.
like look for maybe 2 or 3 other quotations. Yeah. With the market rate right now, I would say 70 Yeah, or 60 to 70. Yeah. Yeah.
Simple reno.
Yeah.
Simple reno. This one got furniture, no furniture?
Okay, maybe if you're not doing too much for the kitchen and wardrobe, maybe 55.
Oh, this one got, that means got bed and stuff already, or this one is just,
No.
okay, so this is if you sleep on the floor and no bed, no TV, no nothing, okay? It's just the 12 point, do up nice
Taobao
only.
furniture sold separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about furniture, right? What
Yeah.
do you think about Taobao houses? Because I've been scrolling TikTok recently and like I've been seeing videos of people who buy all their furniture exclusively from Taobao.
And actually not bad, no? Like some of them, the curtains also from Taobao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the technology in China, I mean, they're not called a factory of the world for no reason, right? But it's starting to really catch up. The quality is starting to become not bad. I think the downside of buying from Taobao is that you've got to sift through a lot of listings. And if it's a bad thing, then you've got to like, what do I do with it right now? Do I chuck it or whatever, right? I would say for furniture itself, if you're really on a tight budget, then I think it's okay.
But do you help your clients to choose furniture?
We do have a package for that, but it's not so. It's not like you definitely need to get this. We usually go for a look, so to speak. So we say, how we typically do it is that, okay, your couch, to match with the rest of your living room, it should look like this. There is one from IKEA that looks nice. There's one from Kasari that looks nice, and there's one from say Space or Extra that we have to ask them how much it costs.
Oh, Kasari cannot.
Space
Kasari is
extra.
super X, but super chill, but super X.
But that is the mid range to him.
That's
Above
the
that, there's still
mid-range?
The
Yeah.
Space and Extra, never hear before.
Man, I'm in IKEA range or Taobao range. Kasari is mid-range? Oh my gosh. Okay, good to know.
I think Kasori is mid to high.
Mid to high.
To put it very simply, sometimes client would tell us like we don't need this, and then we'll say I will actually tell them then don't engage us for choosing furniture. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because I don't think the purpose there is to try to get them to buy the furniture so that I can get the commission. I don't
Just
think.
to guide them.
Yeah, it's to make sure that the final product looks good and they're happy with it. Yeah, and then they would recommend us to their friends or their family. Then I think that to me is a job well done.
Would you say that's the most rewarding part of your job? Like,
Yeah. I think I take the most joy out of like not just the design and everything, but more like towards the end, after you clean up everything, the carpentry's in, the lights in, and you say, okay, we are almost done. Like last leg, do you want to take a look at the place? And then you meet the clients there, and then they are like happy. They're really happy for the place. And I think that's the part of the job that brings me the most joy, to see that whatever we've been talking about, the details of the handle and all these things, right? For many weeks, finally like come to life, and the client can see that. Oh, they are very happy. Yeah, that to me is the most rewarding part of the whole endeavor.
so you mentioned that it is a very rewarding, what you're doing is also very rewarding, right? But there seems to be like a turnover, in this industry. So could you share a little bit more from your point of view how the turnover is like in the ID industry? Is it very fast? Is it very slow?
I would say that a lot of people are in it because they want a career change, right? And but the hours are insane.
Yeah, it is.
The hours are insane. So I think at one point, I think they maybe want to decide for themselves that like maybe this life is not for them, because going out on a Saturday to have like meetings for half of it, and then having to go back to office again and things like that. I don't think that's really a lifestyle that a lot of people eventually want. Like maybe in their late 30s or 40s, especially if they have kids,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
have family and everything, right? If you are like a bachelor or single, I think it's okay to like do this as I was doing when I was still single, right? And it was like non-stop Monday to Saturday, sometimes Sunday as well. So you go to the job site and then you take a look at everything, and you can have that energy. But as you grow older, I think the industry sort of doesn't grow with you, in the sense that the hours are not something that a father of two can do, or a mother of three can handle.
If the
So
hours were so bad, what made you want to stick with interior design?
Yeah.
I think the hours were bad until I have control of it. So that's why I started my own practice. Right, which is why, you know, I can spend my
Oh, you're here with us
Thursday
today.
here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also we can say that, like, okay, let's go for date night. So I will like put in some more extra hours tomorrow morning or things like that. Or so I think having that flexibility is why I stuck to the industry, and also because I love design so much. And I think that it's a very rewarding job, because like once you can see the effect of the many hours of you laboring behind the computer and thinking about all these materials and spaces and things like that, translate into happiness in the clients. Or like if you visit them maybe 2-3 months later, the clients say that, like, oh yeah, my kids and their cousins love running around the house, because like this place that you design with the carpentry and everything feels like a playground to them and things like that. So it's exceptionally rewarding when something like that happens also.
But for young people going in, they need to realize that maybe for the first few years of their life, they have to
Yeah.
chiong a bit.
Yeah.
Don't have control over
Yeah.
their weekday nights and weekends.
Yeah. I think you can draw the boundary and say that, like, yeah, I don't want to go for this thing on Saturday. But then sometimes you lose out on learning opportunities also. I don't want to go to the job site to talk to the carpenter. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that.
Actually, just now earlier on when you mentioned like you can watch videos and you can educate yourself, right?
Yeah.
If I as like a person with no knowledge, now I watch a lot of videos, I kind of know what I want, I kind of know how things work, right? Wouldn't it be cheaper for me to just go and hire a contractor alone on my own? Because I know already technically what I want and how things are supposed to work.
Yes. If you 100% know how you want the carpentry to look, how many drawers there are, what's the depth of the drawers, like if you are so meticulous to the point, I think it's 100% okay for you to look for your own contractors.
Would it be cheaper actually?
What I'm hearing
Yeah.
is that it might not be as cheap as it used to be, because those carpenters or those tailors are also starting to realize that, like, hey, there are a lot of homeowners who come directly to us, so they bring up the price also. But yeah, I mean it will definitely be cheaper than if you were to like just hire a designer to just do it, you know. Alternatively, there are sometimes those packages that Daryl was talking about earlier. But
BTO packages.
but sometimes I don't know how they get the prices that low. When I look at it, I'm like, really, man? Right?
Oh, too good to be true. Red flag.
It's like, I don't know how you're doing your math, but I can't do that. I'm sorry. Like it's like, I think it's good for them that they can make it their business model, but I'm not sure what's under the hood also.
Because for those packages, I think they design once and then they just copy and paste.
Yeah, then the
for different
okay,
units,
okay.
right? And then they can buy all the
Buy in
furniture
bulk.
or materials in bulk.
I see.
For those customers that don't want to customize, I guess they just want to. If it works, it works. Cheap and easy. Then 5 years after MVP, they can
Flip the house kind of situation.
Yeah, I have some clients who will actually take my drawings of the carpentry, like in the kitchen, and say that, like, spoons go here, baking supplies go here, flour go here, like things like that. So then they have the measurements of everything. Yeah. And so that's super easy for the carpenters to work with, because then I have what they need
Yes.
as exact requirements, and I go to my carpenter and say that, like, does this make sense? Can this fit everything? You know? So those clients are also sometimes quite suited to choose their own, go to their own carpenters. Yeah. But I think as homeowners, because you guys are working a day job.
Yeah.
So if you were to, and majority of the work happens from morning 9 o'clock
Yeah.
to 5 p.m., right? So it will be very stressful for the homeowners to go and manage all these things themselves as well. Yeah.
So maybe to close it off, why not you give advice or to interior designers who are just starting out? Maybe they are feeling a bit burnout over having to work on weekdays and everything. You know, what advice do you have, having been in the industry so long and now running your own practice? And you know, what pitfalls to avoid maybe?
I mean, if you're working for somebody, I don't know whether this is 100% something that your company will be okay with or not. But my previous boss would tell me that, like, don't respond to all the WhatsApp messages as they come in. Like, don't be available all the time.
Why?
Because then it shows to the client that, like, your time is cheap. Right? Instead, park aside, like, some time, maybe, you know, morning, 10 a.m., reply all your clients, and then put your phone aside and do the actual work that you need to do. Then after lunch, you can catch up on the replies. Maybe at 3 p.m. you reply them. So that's 2 points of contact every day already. I think it's not too bad. You know, and I think because now you are on WhatsApp all the time with the clients, right? And it just keeps coming in, and it sometimes can get very distracting. Not that talking to clients are a bad thing. I always advocate talking to clients, but I think this job is both how should I put it? It's both a introspective job, but also a job that requires you to talk to many people throughout the course of a single day. One of the biggest source of burnout that I felt back then was that, like, we were too available to the client. So then, like, it becomes like this thing where you constantly spend the rest of your office hour replying your client, being on a call with them, and then sooner you start to realize that, hey, it's 4:30 already, 5 o'clock already. I'm supposed to have dinner with someone. Then how? I haven't finished my work. Right? Then you kanchong, oh, coming on Saturday, coming on Sunday. You know, so I think, I don't know if all ID firms advocate that. But I think setting good boundaries and knowing your own sort of, like, what fits your creative energy helps a lot, because that helps smoothen the process a lot. Yeah.
And I think it's applicable not just to IDs,
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
for
Not
those
just to
people
ID.
who work with clients or people who are creatives.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. I think it's not that you want to purposely ignore them, right? Like, if there's an emergency, they will also call.
Yeah, but sometimes you get stuck in a loop where you reply, then you
Then
see
they
the person is
reply.
typing and you're waiting for them to reply.
Yeah. It throws you off whatever emails that you were originally typing, or whatever job that you were doing at the first place. And then after that, it's lunch already. How?
Yeah, then you have to go eat lunch. Then
And
you
you
come
didn't even
back.
start on your actual
Then you're like, I
work.
haven't even started any work. I've been talking to the client the whole day. I mean, if your only job is to talk to client and manage the relationship with the client, then that's fine, right? But, you know, I think sometimes all of us juggle more than one role. So
Yeah. Okay. So I hope you guys take those advice to heart. Okay, don't burn yourselves out. Value your time. And then give yourself time to actually do the job, like designing.
yeah, because that's what people are paying you guys for.
Exactly.
Yes,
So
right, I
don't
think-
always be at their beck and call.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's episode. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.